Buenos días, clase. Hoy vamos a hablar un poquito sobre España. We're going to talk a little bit about Spain. Y vamos a visitar Barcelona. We're going to visit Barcelona, the city of Barcelona. Okay? Un poquito de España, a little bit about Spain. La capital es Madrid, la moneda es euro. Los idiomas son español o castellano, catalán, gallego, valenciano, and euskera. Okay? So in Spain, they speak more than one language, right? There's the Spanish that you know, but also there are regions where they speak Catalan, Gallego, Valenciano, and Euskera. Una comida típica es la paella, que es un plato con arroz y azafrán y mariscos. Okay, rice dish with saffron and seafood, ¿verdad? Delicioso, delicioso. Okay. Entonces aquí tenemos el mapa de España. Sus vecinos son Portugal y Francia. Y luego, por ejemplo, en la zona de Galicia hablan gallego. They speak Galician, right? That sounds like Portuguese and Spanish. In the region of País Vasco and Navarra, in parts of France, they speak Euskera, which is the, Basque language. Y luego tenemos Cataluña, donde vamos a ver Barcelona, donde hablan el catalán. Okay? They speak the language Catalan in this region. And then we have Valenciano, which is a language that is spoken in la comunidad valenciana aquí. Okay? Entonces hoy vamos a visitar la región de Cataluña. We're going to visit the region of Cataluña. Okay? La capital es Barcelona. Antonio Gaudí es un arquitecto muy famoso que tiene sus obras maestras en Barcelona. So Antonio Gaudí is one of the most famous architects in Spain who has all his masterpieces in Barcelona that you'll see here. La Sagrada Familia, which is a church that he started to build. Okay? Tiene tres fachadas, Natividad, Pasión y Gloria. It has a design of three facades, like faces to the church. One is supposed to be the Nativity, the Passion of Christ, which is the crucifixion, and then Gloria, which is the resurrection of Christ. It's a beautiful church. The construction actually began in 1882 under the architect of Francisco de Paula del Villar, but when he left the project, he resigned from the project. Gaudí took over until his death, actually. He was working on the church, okay, from 1883. They say that Antonio Gaudí was really ahead of his times because he built buildings that look really modern, that go to today's world in the 21st century. And many people thought that he was crazy back then when he built these places. Okay, he died in 1926 and they were planning to finish the church in 2026, which is the 100-year anniversary of his death, because he died in 1926 without finishing this church that you will see in a little bit. Okay? Está la Sagrada Familia. This is the church. You can see why they couldn't finish it, because when he died, they didn't know what to do with the designs. It was just crazy. Look at all the details of the carvings that were done by hand, by chiseling stones, right? So they left it alone for a while until later on they decided to commission it again and get the Gaudí's followers to follow up and try to finish the church. And it's going to be finished more than 100 years after, because it started, imagine, the 1800s, late 1800s, and it's going to end in 2026. Okay? So he's inspired by people and nature. So you can see the human towers. This is part of a celebration that's done in Catalonia. So he was inspired by the site of that tower. Okay? Look at all the details of the Nativity facade that he was able to finish. Okay, as you can see the carvings, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You just stare at details when you're there, right? These are actually my pictures, and I took those pictures, and I went in the 90s when it was completely abandoned, and then I went in the 2000s when they were fixing it, and actually they charge way more for visitors and tourists, but all that money is going towards the construction of the church. You can see his way of building with nature. So this is supposed to resemble like trees, like sunlight coming in between the trees. It's so pretty. They have all these stained glass windows, and this is the Passion facade. Remember, Gaudí died after he did the Nativity facade. So this is the Passion facade, the crucifixion of Christ, and he actually designed Christ naked. There's no covering on him, right? And at first, when they did this, they thought, oh, it's not right for a church, so they covered him. But then later on, they just uncovered him because that was his design, original design, and they wanted to keep it that way. So they said that it's the only naked Christ, in a crucifixion, I guess, seen in all over the world. Okay, so you see the details of the Nativity facade right here. And this is their progress so far. Okay, they built a lot since then. You can see the progress here from the 1882 all the way to 2026, what they're trying to do. So other Antonio Gaudí's works are La Casa Batlló, La Pedrera, and Park Güell. And these are apartment buildings, Batlló and Pedrera. And thank God there was somebody by the last name was Batlló who believed in his architecture, and he actually commissioned some of the buildings. Because back then people thought that he was crazy. When he tried to build like a gated community in Park Güell of houses, nobody wanted to commission and build their houses there. So at the end, it ended up being a park where he just has his own house, which looks like a gingerbread house, very tiny, where he used to work. And you can go see that today. It's at the top of the hill. It's a beautiful place. Okay, so you can see this is Casa Batlló, and look at the details. It looks like scales, and look at the shape of the balconies. He even designed the interior. He made the stairs, even the vases that you see right here. He even designed the lighting, the light fixture, the windows, and it's like a museum that you can go visit. For the rest of the apartments, they're owned by very rich people, but you can actually go visit with that one apartment where you can see some of his works. And that's me trying to go to the roof so you can see. And then this is La Pedrera. It's another apartment building. And look how modern it looks. Can you imagine doing that in the early 1900s? It's amazing, and this guy was born in the 1800s, and he was building with these ideas. This is the entrance, and actually they converted one of the apartment, I guess, complexes into a museum with the furniture of the time. So imagine what it looks like outside, so modern, and look at the inside, right? You have the furniture, and all that stuff. It's just amazing. Look at the old furniture, the way the bathrooms used to look like. Look at the curtains, right? And they used to have a sewing room and ironing room. And if you go to the roof, you find all these beautiful statues that you see right here. Okay, this is Park Güell. Remember that he wanted to make a gated community. Imagine how beautiful, overlooking the waters and everything, but nobody wanted to commission for his architecture. They thought he was crazy. So now you see all these gingerbread houses, and one of them, you see a tiny one at the entrance that is supposed to be his house from where he did all the work. He did all this tile work. That's me with my husband. And you have all these like beautiful structures. Everything is following like the forms of nature. Nothing is just cut like, just because it is. It's following the nature shapes. So you can see a lot of the mosaic that he built, and in the interior of this, you see in the ceiling mosaics that he put piece by piece, looking upside down from the bottom. He was a workaholic, they say. And he's sad because he got run over by a cable car and he died. He never finished the Sagrada Familia, but he left beautiful buildings. And if you ride El Paseo de la Gracia, which is a boulevard where you can just ride the bus, you see all this beautiful architecture by Gaudí, and also you can see a lot of the things that his followers did, people who really liked his ideas and they were followers of Gaudí. This is Barcelona. It's a very cosmopolitan city. A lot of people go to work in Barcelona. It's a big city for young people to go study or get jobs. El Corte Inglés is a big shopping mall, and you can see Catalan. They speak Catalan which is a little bit different from Spanish. It's from Latin too, but it sounds like something in between French and Spanish. So, vida de la moda, that's what it means right here. Even McDonald's has their own menu. Look at it. It's like patatas frigidas. That's French fries. And in Spanish, they will say patatas fritas. So you can kind of see the language that they speak in Catalonia. And they're all bilingual over there. They speak Spanish, which is Castellano, and they speak Catalan. Among themselves, they speak Catalan, but if they have anybody who comes from the outside, they will speak Castellano, which is the Spanish that everybody speaks all over Spain. You can go visit the cathedral. It's full of geese, I guess. Really pretty. El Barrio Gótico, the Gothic quarter, which is beautiful too, full of alleys. And Las Ramblas, which is a middle divider in a street where they have a market, open market, so you can buy flowers, all the way to chipmunks. Okay, so it's beautiful. I hope someday you can go see Barcelona and go see the beautiful architecture of Antonio Gaudí. Okay, hasta pronto.